this is not a video where I defend Jade Raymond. Lord knows anybody who's had the level of success and longevity that that lady has had in this business, she don't need anybody. Certainly not me defending her. So it's not that. Don't fucking come at me with that white knight bullshit. That's not what we're talking about. And this is not me virtue signaling either about how woke and progressive I am when it comes to feminism and whatnot. That's not that either. This is a genuine curiosity I have about why it seems, and maybe it's the fact that it seems this way, is maybe it's a me problem, but I don't think so. Jade Raymond sold her company to Sony the other day. My guess is it's what they call a talent acquisition deal. It's not about buying. It's not like Insomniac. My guess is the amount, which was not disclosed, is not something like, 180 million or a billion. That's not this from my experience and from what I understand. That they haven't built much of anything yet. It's possible what they've built in less than a year has been so gobsmackingly staggering to Sony that they're like, we have to lock these teammates down and make this a Sony, it's possible. But chances are what it is other things. They wanted the talent. They were worried about the talent in Quebec going elsewhere. For whatever reason, it was more like, hey, let's bring them in, give them the benefits, literally, although I guess in Canada you may not need them. The benefits you get from working at a big company, let's up their salaries, let's make it so they don't want to leave and go work at any of the other mini companies around town because we do believe in this team. I'm not saying it's like it wasn't a purchase based on trust and excitement about Haven. I just think that, when people are like, they haven't done anything, it's like, well, my guess is that's the kind of deal this was, which I think is what they call it. It's called a talent acquisition instead of just like that's what it's about. It's about getting the talent on your payroll. And I don't know if that's true, but it makes a lot of sense, and that's what I would assume this is. But it kind of doesn't matter. What I'm fascinated by is since she sold her company, I want to know why a lot of gamers respond the way they do to Jade Raymond. I guess that's the goddamn truth. I'm looking over on the NeoGAF, and this isn't just on NeoGAF, but I like NeoGAF a lot, but I also feel that there's a lot of people over there that are just like anywhere else, a bunch of fucking morons. But there's a lot of good people there too. But there's this one guy who's doing this post. I'm not going to give you his name. He says he's basically laying into Jade Raymond. He says, apart from the cookie cutter annualized bugfest disaster MTX bullshit talking about Ubisoft, Jade doesn't have any games to show for it. Just the nice titles. I don't know why titles is in quotes. That the checks and the wonderful media coverage with great studio picks. And obviously, yes. I don't know if Jade's spoken about that. I don't know Jade Raymond. Never met the woman. But my guess would be that she looks back and regrets some of those photos she took where she's front and center. The spotlight, I think, almost literally is on her, and the whole team is like behind her, like they're Jade's army. It wasn't a good look. But then the guy goes on to say she did a terrible job at EA and Stadia. Yeah, she's been very, and then he puts successful in quotes. Well, it's just, first off, let's be clear, it's a bad reading. Stadia, if you followed what happened at Stadia, and I have a little inside knowledge, but also the knowledge that I have is based on articles that everyone has access to, this was not a Jade Raymond problem. This was, you could lay a lot of this at the feet, probably at Phil Harrison, and the Google execs above Phil not really seeing eye to eye on what they were building and what they needed to spend time and money-wise to get where they needed to be with Stadia internal. This was not a Jade Raymond failure. This guy's just, you don't know what you're talking about. EA I can't speak to as much, but again, EA's a rough fucking company to work for, at least maybe at the time it was, right? And to blame Jade for that, I mean, let's put it this way. I would know more than this guy does, and I haven't heard any of this being, it was Jade's fault. Okay, so where is he getting it from? I don't fucking know. What I can tell you is I have heard directly from contacts that Jade Raymond, and these are from some of the managers in the business that I hold in incredibly high esteem. They've come to me because they worked with Jade at Stadia, and they've said, she's the real deal. She's amazing. She's just a phenomenal manager. So when you've got people that you respect in the management position, and trust me, there ain't a lot of them, and they're telling you that they found someone that they think is like better than they are, that's something to listen to. So this guy, I don't know what he's talking about. Then he goes on to talk about, he says, now we're comparing Jade Raymond to Phil Harrison, which, by the way, he was a real game designer and graphic artist before being responsible. No, Phil Harrison, I believe, was the CEO of Mindscape in the UK. Phil Harrison's had a wonderful long career, and hopefully he's got a long career in front of him. I'm not taking away from what Phil's done. But this guy just went to his Wikipedia page. Before Phil Harrison was the Mindscape CEO, I think he had a small graphics company, and they may have done some games in the UK. This was like 1986. We're talking 40 fucking years ago. It was the last time Phil Harrison sat down and was a game designer. And remember, the games back then, they didn't even have designers. It wasn't like you looked at the credits and it was like, oh, designed by. It was art and code. And more often than not, the art and the code, one of those guys or girls were the ones doing the design. So don't fucking come at me, dude, and act like you've got some inside skinny on this. Then he says, oh, and Shu. He's comparing these executives. He says, and Shuhei too, who only has a career since the original PlayStation. That's simply not true. He worked at Sony Music for a long time first. This guy doesn't know anything. And this isn't just this guy. There's other comments in this thread and on the internet where it's just, they put a lot of effort into tearing this woman down. And again, I'm not here to defend Jade. Maybe she's awful. I don't know her. She seems like a nice lady. She's a mom. She's, clearly she's been able to stick it out and grow and become valuable enough that Sony wants to spend ducats to keep her and her team happy and employed. Seems like, and people who I genuinely love in this industry have said nothing but glowing words about the woman. But this is not about Jade. This is about why do these guys consistently, whenever Jade Raymond comes up, why do they have to be so broken? There's one guy on NeoGAF, different guy. He says she was hot 20-ish years ago. That's basically it. Her games were okay, but didn't exactly set the world on fire. It's like, forget the fact. Again, this is not me virtue signaling. This is not me showing you how much of a feminist I am. Whatever. I don't care what you think about that. It's more about what causes this. Is it men in general when they are, confronted with an attractive woman, and Jade is an attractive woman. I think categorically speaking, in 2022, what we as a society, at least in the Western world, define as attractive, Jade checks a lot of the boxes. She's a good-looking lady. Who gives a shit? Big fucking deal. I'm a good-looking guy. Shut up, fucker. No, but she is. She's a good-looking lady. But it's like these guys are so threatened. It feels like they're threatened. And I wonder about that. Is it that I'm not saying these are incels. Incels, I imagine, are pretty rare compared to people like, most people. It's probably a very small percentage. But it's just like, why is it always we have to tear her down because she's attractive? Is it that they're threatened by a good-looking woman? Is it that they feel gaming is the one place they can feel safe because maybe, and I get it, I wasn't super confident talking to women when I was younger, good-looking women. Is it that maybe they feel that games is the one space they have some control, and when someone like this comes in and does well and shows they have power and ability to move the ball down the field, maybe there's this insecurity that they can't really speak to because they're not conscious of it, and it just wells up and it comes off as this crass, sexist, just rude shit. And again, it's not about, trust me, Jade Raymond can handle the slings and arrows of people being rude to her. She don't need any protection. And if she does, she needs to go see some fucking therapy. She's a grown fucking woman. But it's just more interesting to me why this seems to be so prevalent. I think it's prevalent I know it's prevalent among men, but specifically male gamers. My theory is, and I'm putting that out there, you let me know either on a future live stream, the comments, Twitter, whatever. I'm genuinely curious about this. Is it that they're threatened because she's attractive and she's in their space and they just like, I don't know what to do with that. That I'm not, this is my safe space, and here comes someone that doesn't make me feel comfortable. They make me feel funny in my nether regions, but at the same time, they make me feel terribly uncomfortable because I know I can't get that kind of a woman. I'm not saying that's true, by the way, but I'm saying this is their thing. Is that what it is? That's what I think it is. And it just feels gross. But again, I have compassion for these guys. I'm not like, yeah, you guys are fucking losers. Look, man. It's society. You grow up, you go to at least an American high school, and you're not one of the in kids. Whatever reason you weren't raised to be confident in your looks, whether they're good looks or average looks or whatever. You're not confident about yourself with the opposite sex or whichever version of sex that you like, whichever orientation, what, you know what I'm saying. I get it. I get that's going to have an effect on you, and I'm compassionate about that. I just wonder, is it time maybe for these guys to sort of step back and realize, wow, I'm being an asshole, and that's not the main issue. The main issue is, why am I an asshole about this? So if you're one of those people out there that feels this way about Jade Raymond, I would love for you to call into the show soon and talk to me about it, because I think you could benefit from therapy. I think you're a little broken, but maybe you're like, dude, Jeff, you don't understand. It's not that. Let me know. Huh. I don't know how to end a video like this. What do you do? All right. I want a baked potato. You want a baked potato? I'll go order some from DoorDash. Be well. Take it easy.